I'm driving to work again. Yesterday was fucking pretty good. I got a lot of tip money, I guess. And I'm here to talk about Outbreak Perfected, which is just Outbreak Prime, but they renamed it to Outbreak Perfected for whatever reason. I'm not really here to talk about Outbreak Perfected. I'm here to talk about their philosophy with exotic weapon quests in Destiny. So, like, back in Destiny 1, exotic weapon quests were like 90% of the time were kind of like Invective, where it'd be like, alright, go do bounties. It's like, okay, I did enough bounties. It's like, okay, now go do PvP with shotguns. It's like, okay, I did PvP with shotguns. It's like, okay, now go do heroic strikes. It's like, okay, I did heroic strikes. Alright, now go do a nightfall. Okay, I did my nightfall. And that's it. Boom, you're done. And then you get your weapon. Alright, that was like 80-ish% of the exotic quests in Destiny 1. And, you know, like, the other 20% were things like Touch of Malice, where it's like you go around, you get a bunch of fucking collectibles that take you forever to grind for, and then you go around and do a bunch of patrols that take you forever to grind for, and then you gotta go get 45 moldering shards, which are hidden all over the damn map, and you gotta go look up a guide to find them, and then you gotta go kill the last boss of the raid, and then bam, you get Touch of Malice. And it was a good balance. I'm not gonna lie. You know, Invective's a bad example because it was one of the first exotic quests in the game. Like, I think it was Invective, Bad Juju, and Thorn, I think, were the first three exotic quests in the games. I think, funnily enough, it was like you can choose which one of these you want to do, and I got the Invective one first, and then I got the Bad Juju one next. I never got the Thorn one, looking back. I never got Thorn in Destiny 1, and it really sucks ass when I look back on it, because that gun was overpowered as shit. But in Destiny 2, it's different. So, when Destiny 2 launched, the exotic quests that were in the game were, once you beat the storyline, every single planet had its own exotic quest. Like, you go to the planet, you do a quest, like a chain quest that you pick up at the, whoever the fuck the vendor of the planet was. You go and do the chain quest, and at the end of the chain quest, you'd get, like, a purple engram, and, the starter of an exotic quest. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure every single one of these exotic quests were encrypted bullshit. And what I mean by encrypted bullshit is, I mean, they were quests where it's like how do you unlock the gun as a secret, and you gotta figure it out, you know, kind of like you know, sort of like, what was it called? No Time to Explain, or Black Spindle. You know, like for example, the Rat King. You get a quest and it has a poem on it, and that's the quest. It's like it has a poem on it, and then it has objective complete on the quest, and that's it. And really what it is, I'm pretty sure the quest is you gotta get 6 people together, or 3 people together that are all on the quest, or have finished the quest, and go and do a nightfall or some shit. And that's the quest, or like that's the step. But it doesn't tell you that, right? It puts a poem down, and you're supposed to decipher the poem and figure it out. But it's not like a simple poem, or like even a kind of encrypted poem. It's completely completely out of left field. Like, yeah, I guess you could see that if you sort of read between the lines. But basically, every exotic quest, for the most part, in Destiny 1's launch, you know, I'm pretty sure every single one of them, except for like the Destroyer of Worlds, was some kind of convoluted bullshit that you couldn't figure out unless you spent hours with a Discord trying to figure it out. Like hundreds of people joining like a secret discovering Discord for Destiny, you know, full of YouTubers and streamers and shit, and everybody's trying to figure out the quest, and then they figure it out and then it's done. And, you know, that's cool. You know, some people really like that. But, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing either, right? I actually think these are the best kinds of quests in Destiny, right? I think that Destiny uniquely has these encrypted bullshit quests that don't make any sense, and you got to figure out with the community in order to, you know, get the item. And I like that a lot. I really do. But it's every single quest. And, you know, this is a personal thing, but most of the time I feel like shit when I have to look up a guide for something like that. You know, it's like, I'm an adult, I should be able to figure these things out. You know, I'm an elite gamer that's been gaming for years. I should be able to figure out a quest, right? But I can't. You know, these quests, you know, took like hundreds of people, hundreds of hours all working together to figure out. And I feel upset when I'm not able to figure it out in like an hour by myself. And I'm like, I guess I gotta go look up a guide. You know, like the whatever the hell it was called, Outbreak Perfected. So if you don't know, the way the Outbreak Perfected quest works is you need to go to Titan, and you need to have finished a quest. You need to have finished the legend. You don't need to have gotten the exotic, but you need to have finished the prerequisite to attain the exotic quest on Titan, right? It's a quest where you go and you meet up with a fallen captain named Mithrax, and you and Mithrax like play cat and mouse until you get to the very end, where you and Mithrax are in the same room and you're able to kill Mithrax. And you and you run up in the room and it's Mithrax fighting a hive knight, and they're both at like half health, and you could just kill both of them, or you could just kill the hive knight, and then Mithrax just kind of like fucking salutes you, and then he fucks off. And this has been in the game since vanilla, but they added a quest where if you did that, you can go to this certain room on Titan that's been locked, you know, basically in the overworld always, like the door has just been closed always. But it was used in the quest. It was you went through the door in the quest, and it was the first time you ever saw Mithrax. You went through the door, and there's a glass like window in front of you and a door to your left that was locked. Mithrax like bows to you, and then he runs off, and then the door opens and you can go in the room where he was. And that's like the start of the quest. Is how you first meet him. And when you go back to that room, just like in patrol, and the door is finally unlocked, you can open the door, you can go through, and you go to this table, and there is a fallen transponder that was left there by Mithrax, and it says it's been augmented to be used by human hands, right? So you get the transponder, and then the transponder has 6 riddles on it, right? It has 6 riddles on it. And none of these make any sense, right? They're not even riddles, right? They're kind of like suggestions, not even hints. They're kind of just, maybe if you look at it from the 18th angle, you could see to go here, but that's about it. Basically what you have to do is there's 6 slots in this transponder, and you need to go to 6 different lost sectors, in order, by the way, like 1 to 6, and find the hidden like nodes to like slot into these 6 slots in the transponder. And the hint for where all 6 of these are, like which lost sector they're in, is like 3 lines that looks like it was taken out of a random conversation that Mithrax had with somebody. And there's no way I would figure this shit out, right? I'm sure people took hours and hours and hours working together to figure this out, and they didn't even figure it out from the riddle. They just scoured the entire fucking game until they found something and they clicked on it. So, you know, I always feel bad in these cases because I gotta look up a guide. It's like, oh wow, I got this cool ass secret. Time to do the quest and solve the mystery, like one of those old-fashioned, you know, point-to-click adventure games or click-to-move adventure games. Where you know, like Grim Fandango or Day of the Tentacle or some shit like this, where you'd go around and you'd solve mysteries, or like Resident Evil even, where you just like solve little puzzles. But I can't, because I'm like, it's not even that I'm not smart enough, it's these things are super complicated. And once you get all 6 of them, like the middle node unlocks, and it's a wall of text in binary. It is an entire wall of text in binary. That's what you get. Like when you get the 6th node, you fill it in. It isn't like quest step, like next quest step, like figure this out. It just gives you a wall of text of binary. That's all it is. And I have no fucking clue who figured this out. But basically, the wall of text of binary says something along the lines of go to the farm or some shit like that. And you go to the farm, and you go to a barn, and you go into the basement of the barn, and you see Mithrax there waiting for you, and you interact with him, and then it starts a super hard mission, right? A super hard mission that you're supposed to like 3-man, right? So then once you get to this, gotten this far, you gotta get like 2 other people, and you gotta go and do this super hard fucking mission, and once you get past the hard waves of enemies, you gotta do a jumping puzzle, then you got to go through a maze, and then you got to go through a miniature like sea of maneuvering shit. Like you got to jump over fans and make sure their blades don't cut you in half, and then you get an actual maze with electrically charged motor blades running through them, and you got to flip switches in the actual maze. And then you got to get to the end of the actual maze, go through a door, go through a fucking slide, go down a slide. I hate driving downtown. Go down a slide, go through another door, and then you have a boss fight, like a super hard boss fight, and you're timed this entire time. You have to do everything in 20 minutes, otherwise you get knocked out to orbit. And that's it. And then you beat the last boss, and then Mithrax pops up. He's like, "Heh, fuck you, dude, thanks." And then he fucks off, and he gives you Outbreak Perfected. And it's awesome. Like, it's an awesome quest. You go back to the old tower from the beginning of the game. You know, you go back to the old tower to do this. You go to a Cryptarch vault. You see a bunch of shit. You see a unique room that was made specifically for this quest. You know, you get some dialogue from the Drifter when you finish it. Like, it's an amazing quest. But it's kind of sour to me, because every single quest in this game is like this. Like, has some form of this. Except for, like, the Last Word quest. You know, every quest in the game, you have to, like, go out to some third-party website to figure this shit out. Like, oh, wow, it's an awesome puzzle that they gave for me so I can solve it and have a great time solving this riddle and then feel really smart when I'm done. But I can't do that because I guess I'm not fucking smart enough. And I have to just look it up. And, you know, I don't mind these things when it happens every now and again, but it was literally, I feel like it's half, if not more than half, of the exotic quests in Destiny 2 are like this. And you know, that kind of just upsets me a little bit. That, like, more than half of the quests are, like, impossible to figure out unless you look them up on the internet. I'm not even upset that they're riddles, right? Because riddles are fun to figure out. But I guess, you know, if they're going to make a riddle that's simple enough to be figured out by every individual person that goes on the quest, and they're going to just look it up anyways, and it'll be easy regardless. So, you know, what are you going to do? But, you know, that was basically the point of me recording, just so I could ramble on about Outbreak Perfected and quests like it. I like it. I think they're awesome. But at the same time, it's bittersweet because it reminds me how fucking stupid I am and I can't figure these things out by myself. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about.